Okay, so what we're going to start off with is the back of the structure. So we're not actually starting with the front, we're starting with the back. So what you want to do is first place down your block, just a block anywhere you like, where you know the back is going to be. Then go 1, 2, 3 across, place a block, 3 across, place a block, 3 across, place a block, like so. One block in front of each of these facing towards the outside. Then we're going to place one block here, with one block going out to the side, and we're going to place a block behind each of these, and then same here again. In the front here, we're going to add 3 on top to make these pillars 4 blocks high. In the back, we're going to add 3, 4, 4, and 3. I'm going to add 4 on top of here, and 4 on top of here. One block on the top, one block on the top, like so. And then from now on, what we'll do is we'll just do one side at the moment, and then we'll copy across later on, however method you want to use for that. So what you want to do on the front here, you're going to go 3 blocks along the back, and along the front you're going to place 3 blocks along the top. So you got 3 along the top and 3 along the bottom. We're now going to go down here. So for this, we're going to go 1, 2, 2, 3 along the bottom. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going up, and then 5 going up again. We're then going to go 1, 2, 3 across and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going up. We place 1 on the side here, also 1 here, and then 1 on the front and 1 at the bottom. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 across to the side, like so. We're of course going to place 3 across going here, and we're also going to place 3 across going here as well. We can also place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 go along the back, remove them and just replace them, or just move them back, should I say. This might actually be mixed up slightly. No, sorry, I've got it right. I thought the top ones were on the back, but I have got it correct there. So what we can now do is go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going across here. Place 1 block going sideways, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 going up. Then 5 going up here. I'm pretty sure I'm placing 4 there. Yep. So add 1 more on top to make it 5. 5 going up here, and 1 coming out. 1, 2, 3 coming across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going up. 1 across. 1, 2, 3, 4 going up. 4 coming up again. 1 going out. 3 across. Actually 3 across going along the back. And then 4 up, 1 along the back. Then 5 up, 1 along the back, 1 along the top as well, like so. Once you've got that, you can then do 3 going across here, so 3 going across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going up, 3 going across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going up, and then 1 coming out, like so. So we have them all in place, just like so. And as we can see, since we do have 3 along the top here and 3 along the back, what we want to basically do is make sure that pattern continues across everything, other than I think this side, which I believe is fine, but we will have to look at that later on. So for this, we know that we need 3 along the top, so we can do along the top here, and we know that we have to place them in the back, so we can place them along the back there. Once again, we can do the exact same here. Now I can see that I haven't got a second pillar here yet, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave that as it is, and possibly remove them so I can place them in later, and I'll remove them as well so I can also place them in later. But I can sort of gather that this is going to be a back panel, so I believe I could probably leave them in. I know that's a bit confusing. This structure is incredibly confusing in the way it's set up. So it's going to be a lot of step-by-step for this one. But what you want to do, once you've got all of that, what you can then do is copy it over to the other side, so we have a symmetrical structure, which should leave you a 3-block gap for an entrance here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go and quickly copy that over to the other side. I want you to do the same, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, so now that we've got both sides copied in like so, what we can then do is take our logs again, and this time what we're going to do is actually start to pretty much neaten up this area that we've added in. So we sort of have a general gist of where it's going, so we just need to neaten it up now. So for this, we're just going to go to the back here, and we're going to place a pillar of 5 here. We know that any pillar where we have them lined up, we can add our 3 in there, since we already have the 3 along the top there. What we can also do is place 1 here, so we have 5 going up here, and this means we can have our 3 along here, and our 3 up here. Now, interestingly, the only ones which don't match this sort of pattern are these 2 wall segments here, where we have it actually along the top and along the bottom in the same line. So what we're just going to do is just add that to both sides. So I'm just going to do some quick building-ish, quickish, to make sure they're in, and I can do the same back here. So it'll be 3 along the back, and then 5 going up like so. So once we've got that in, we have an actual frame for our structure. And then what we can also do is add in where the towers are going to be placed as well. So we're going to place in a block going here. So we have the sideways log. So we have 1, which goes diagonal from that sideways log. Then 3 across, place 1, 3 down, place 1, 3 across, place 1 to make this small square. And then we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they're all 6 blocks high. What we can then do is place a log at the bottom, just like so. Now it's up to you if you want to place one sideways here. I think I might do, just for consistency, going round. Once you've got that in, you can place 3 along the top and 1 at the top here. And you'll sort of start to see how it all sort of molds together, even though they are almost separate sort of structures. So we place them in like so, and then once we've got that, we can place 2 going up here, and then we can do that for each side going around like so. So we have almost like a little crown off to the side, and that's sort of the start to our towers, so we can see how that sort of fits into the structure. But once you've done that, you can then actually copy that to the other side and mirror the structure. So I'm going to quickly go and do that when you do the same, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, so once you've got those in, what you can then do is go to the bottom of this tower, and what we're going to do is basically mark out where the courtyard goes. So from this block here, we're going to go 1, 2 across, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Then diagonal 1, then 2, then 2 again. So we've got a diagonal, followed by 2 sideways blocks and 2 more sideways blocks. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block gap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 2, 2, and 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. We're then going to go 2 across again. Place a block and place 1 sideways so it's in line with this pillar here. Then 1 off to the side as well. Then 3, place a block. 2 off to the side. 3, place a block. 2 on the sides. Place a block. 2 on the sides to make a little square like so. Then we're going to go 2 across again and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, and 2. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And of course you're going to do the exact same on the other side, and you should end up with a 5 block gap here. But just before we do that, we're just going to go up with each of these by 2. And this means 2 and 1 more, and that'll be the center point. And then for this side, we're going to do the same. So it's 2, 2, 2, 2, and then finally 2 up once more, like so. Once you've done that, you can then copy everything you've just done to the opposite side once again. So I'm going to quickly go and do that. I want you to do the same, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, so now that we've got all of that in, what we can now do is start to add in a bit of detail to these frames to make them look more like entrances. So what we're going to first off do is place 2 blocks here, 1 block here, then 2, then 1. As you can see, I removed a couple of blocks then. This is to make it a bit like... The frame was good initially, but in order to give a bit more depth to the actual structure, what I've done is sort of muddled up the roof a bit so it looks a bit more interesting and not as sort of just straight, which gives it more of a sort of tent-like effect, which I think is good for the Orcish style. So you've got this in, and once you've done that, you can place 1 at the bottom here, and on this side as well. You then place 3 here in a little L shape. Then 2 going up, then 2, so you've got another little shape that looks like a Tetris thing. Then 2 up, and then 2 up again. Actually, sorry, you want to place a grey on top here, and then 2 up, so you have this sort of little extra spike at the top. And then we do the same going down the other side. We place it going back up as well, like so. And then once you've done that, what you can then do is place an upside down stair, a wall, and then a slab. Upside down, wall, slab. Then a stone stair there and there on opposite sides of the middle stair. Replace the beneath of the upside down stair with a block of cobblestone. We can then place 2 blocks of wood on the front faces of both of the main pillars. Then a cobblestone wall, a stair, and a slab on top. Just like so. Oops. Then you can throw your blocks around. But after that, you place an upside down stair beneath the 2 sections here, with a slab going across. Then upside down stair, slab going across. 3 going across with gates, and 1 going up the top along there, like so. And then once you've done that, you can now do the very fun bit, which is adding in the bone structures in front and on top of the frame and the actual structure and the actual entrance. So for this, what we're going to do is first off place a right way round quartz stair, then upside down with a right way round on top, upside down, right way around, upside down, block on top, right way around, upside down, and right way around, like so. We do the same on the opposite side. So we have a symmetrical entrance. This is to make it look almost chieftain-like, so you know that this is an important structure. Like so. Or you could have just made like the biggest mistake there that I just did, which is make them a bit larger. You might have liked that. If so, go for it. Otherwise, make sure it's symmetrical. But to be fair, I did quite like that then, because it gave a bit more of a ruggedness to the building. But we'll keep it symmetrical for now to keep things easy. Once you've got that in, you can then go over here, and what you're going to do is you're going to place an upside down stair, right way around stair, block of quartz, then a right way around stair, upside down stair, then stair going off to the side, upside down stair, block of quartz, stair, upside down stair, right way around stair, and then we do the same to the opposite side, of course, to make it symmetrical. Once again, play around with the actual sort of sizes of these so you can sort of give it a bit more of a rugged effect. I like my symmetricalness, so I'm going to keep it symmetrical. Just like so. So we have this nice little entrance, and then once you've done that, what you can then do is actually copy everything you've just done there to these other 2 entrances as well. So I'm going to quickly go and do them. I want you to do the same, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, so once you've got all of those in, what you can then do is start to just basically outline the courtyard. So for this, we're going to start here in the back next to these pillars. We're just going to first place in 3 blocks going across, and then just start to basically outline the structure. Like so, going around. So we got this first bit of fencing, which is pretty much what it is. Connected like so. As far as this area is concerned, it's sort of a bit of a mixture, and it also depends on how you feel with the cobblestone placement. So some of you might want it all the way there, some of you might want it right to the end, or you just might not want a strip at all. It's up to you really, but I think I'm going to keep it like that because of the next part. So we're going to bring this across as well, and that being in line with the actual bone structure. We just keep going around. This is a very long process, but makes the structure look very good and like it is part of something. So we just keep going around like so. We're going to skip this area and we're going to move over to here. And what I'll do is I'll do half of it and then you can do the other half. So once again up here and then around. Sorry if you can hear my mouse clicking. And then one across into the bone structure, and then obviously you'll be copying all of this over to the opposite side, but before we do that we'll also just mark out this area here. So we're going to go across here and basically keep it in line with these blocks which connect the pillars together, or to the actual tower, and then we can place them in the corner as well, just like so. And then once you've got that, you can also start placing it along here, and similar to before, just keep them sort of connected, going from one point on the structure to the other. So for this we're going to stop here. I'm just going to fill in this area with cobblestone. We can make changes to this later on. We're just making sure we get sort of the base foundation layer in before we start adding anything else. So once you've got all that, I'm going to just make a sort of a dividing line down the center. But what you're going to do, oops, you're going to not fall into a hole. Right up to, I guess here would probably be the best place. But you're going to clear out any ground layer you have. So I'll try and do this quick, but I think I might just do a chunk of it and then let you do the rest. But you're going to remove all this ground layer, if you have any. And then what you're going to do is you're going to replace it all, or you're going to replace all this grass with podzol instead. Because in my opinion, I think podzol is better for the Orcish structures, because it shows a bit more of a, almost like a tainted area, which when it comes to a lot of like orc fantasy stuff is usually how they're depicted, is that they are sort of like almost tainted beasts, or tainted brutes. So what you're going to do is, I know I'm filling all this in, but it's probably just easier to get it all filled in, right up to where you've added in the cobblestone, hence the reason we've added it in, so we could almost have a knowledge of where we need to build up to. Hopefully I can get this in quite quickly. And this will just help us to, it won't really help, it will just make it look a bit nicer. It will make the actual structure fit in with the environment. You know, you can do what you like with this podzol. You could make your own terrain and actually give it more of a hill effect around this area, or you could just leave it as is. So we can go up here as well. We connect it up here. You sort of get the gist. You're filling in the ground with more ground, is pretty much how it is. You're replacing the ground with fresh ground, or not fresh ground, however you look at it. If you want to know about pathways, and if you want to add pathways to this, I advise using I will have a look for it in a second because I forgot the name for it. It begins with an M. Anyway, yes. It's usually the stuff that the mushrooms and stuff like that grow on. Mycelium or something. I'll find it in a second for you. But that's what I advise you to use if you want to add paths in, because it blends in quite well with this with the ground and makes it look like a path which has been embedded into this ground, which looks like it's very dirty. So looking around for it, I can never seem to find it when I want it. There it is. Mycelium. So I was almost correct. So mycelium is good for the pathways. So if you want to connect up a path to the entrance or the pathways to all of these, then that's a good way of doing it. But for now, what we're going to do is once you've got all of that in, you're now going to copy that over to the other side. I don't want to put you through that torture a second time. So I'm going to quickly go and do all of that. I want you to do the same, and I'll be right back to you. Okay, so once you've got all of that in, what we can now do is just start adding little bits of detail. So for this, we're just going to add in the fence around the actual courtyard. So for this, we're going to place in a stair with a stair opposite it and an upside down stair above the stair closest to the actual entrance. Then we're going to place another stair with another stair, and this time with the upside down stair above the second stair along. And then we're just going to place a slab on the end here, a cobblestone slab on top there, and that's pretty much it for the actual gate. I tried to make it fairly simple to almost keep it thin, because obviously with the blocks then being a meter long, they're a bit hard to make sort of a thin structure. So what we're going to do is just do the same here as well, like so, with a slab there and a cobblestone slab on top, cobblestone slab here with a slab, stair, 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 like so, and finally along here as well, and a slab there, and stairs like so. Once again, another cobblestone slab. We can go along here and around. And just ensure that each side may have messed up slightly there. I have no idea what I did, but I messed up somehow. But yeah, carrying on around. So we have our wooden slab, and then our structure just like so. So it's all in. And I think what I've basically done here by accident is place one of my sort of bone structures a bit too far to one side. So I think it's this one is actually should be one block further across. I think I just didn't notice at the time of building it, or it could have happened during copying and pasting. But basically, yeah, I've made a slight mistake, but that's fine because you guys wouldn't have, because you're all smart. And I think I did that for all of them. Yep, I think I made the mistake for all, but no, I did the same mistake for all of them. But anyway, so you guys wouldn't have made that mistake, probably because you actually did it properly. So what you should have is that this is in line with this pillar here, whereas this one should be moved across by one, and the outline should be changed up a little bit. So as I say, this one's incorrect, this one, no. This one is correct, this one's incorrect, and I think that's purely just my own personal mistake that I've made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and correct the mistakes that I've actually made around. I don't think you guys would have made any, but in case you want to just go and check, now would be a good time. So I'm just going to go and check. I want you to do the same. and I'll be right back to you. So I did make a mistake, and I know exactly when it was. It was basically while I was building this sort of bone structure originally. I'd completely sort of blanked out and just ended up building it instinctively without checking my positioning. So basically the only problem was that when I copied and pasted this round, I ended up placing it in the wrong place in each of these, but it's fine now. I just moved it over by 1 block and they're all good. As I said, I don't think you guys would have made any more mistakes because the bit I actually explained was in front of the correct area. So we should be all good on that, and I think this is actually a good place to sort of end this part of the tutorial, because we basically have all the foundation, all the frame in, which means we are ready to start building on top of that. So what I will say is thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to leave a like, subscribe and leave a comment, and I do apologise for that mistake I made. Purely my fault. So thank you guys. See you guys next time. Bye.